everyone, my name is Heather, and this video is part of my series all about the zodiac signs. And this particular video is about Cancer, the crab. Please quickly just click the subscribe button and the little notification bell so you get notifications of my upcoming videos. And give me a like and a comment because that really helps the algorithm of my channel to get it out to more people. And share this with any other Cancer you know, or anybody who is dealing with or in love with a Cancer, or maybe has a Cancer relative or friend. Why not? If you got Cancer parents or siblings or whatever, it's going to be a good video. It's very informative. And this video is dedicated to my two favorite Cancerians. And they happen to be married to each other. You know that household is emotional. No, well, I mean, Cancers are very emotional. And we'll talk about emotions later because literally that is Cancer. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. This video is dedicated to my two favorite Cancerians, Nick, Captain Nick, captain of a ship, and his gorgeous wife, Raquel. All right, let's get started. Your birthday is between June 21st and the 22nd of July. Your symbol is the crab. Your cardinal water sign with feminine qualities. Now, of course, every person has masculine and feminine qualities, but that is the duality of the sign. You're ruled by the moon. Your body parts are the chest, the breasts, stomach, and diaphragm. Now, each sign, starting from Aries all the way through Pisces, shows a portion of the human life. So like Aries is infant, Pisces is death, consciousness of the soul, and afterlife. And you know what Cancer is? The child. They're the child. And each sign has like a motto or a saying or like a life saying. And Cancer's is, I feel. And that's why I said we will be talking about emotions. Okay. So, Cancer personality traits. They are the crab. They have very changeable emotions, okay? And it's almost like their moods are like synchronized to the moon almost. And they are ruled by the moon. And they might not be, but they might be. And they probably are. And just like the waxing and waning of the moons, Cancers don't really change at all. They just appear to. Because here's the thing. If you think about it, the moon looks like it shrinks to nothing and then grows to the big full moon, right? But the moon actually doesn't shrink and go to nothing and then grow again. The moon is still the moon. It's there. It stays the same. It's very steady. And that's kind of like the Cancer. They might appear to change and change their emotions and their moods, but really they haven't changed, okay? And although they have a normally quiet, gentle personality, they can very easily be the life of the party, okay? Because they have this like unassuming manner, but they secretly do enjoy the attention. And that is why they can be the life of the party. They can be one of the most fun people you have ever met in your life, okay? They are very sensitive. They are never shallow or superficial. They're not, okay? They have a fragile and vulnerable heart. They are honestly fascinating conversationalists, which helps them at parties, okay? They are fascinating, and you're just like you can be mesmerized by a Cancerian stories. But another thing is they also have like deep wells of creative imagination, which really helps with their conversation, okay? They're secretive, but not in the Scorpio way, okay? They're more like, they just don't reveal it. They're not secretive in that way, but they just don't always reveal every portion of themselves. And they're great at keeping secrets. People tend to open up to them because they won't say a word. It is like locking it up and throwing away the key. You know what I'm saying? They're very compassionate people. They're highly intuitive, okay? Um, they're non-judgmental, which is probably back to when I said that people reveal their secrets to them. It's because they're not judgmental. They're not going to sit there and go, okay, why'd you do that, idiot? You know, they're just not like that. And they're very generous and giving, but they're cautious. They're not impulsive. You know, even in their giving, they're cautious about that, but they are very generous and giving. Speaking of not being impulsive, like, okay, here's the thing. Savings accounts, stockpiles of like tangible goods and stuff like that, essential things, including alcohol. That's absolutely essential to a Cancerian, because here's the thing, they often fear like financial collapse or a loss of someone they need emotionally, or like just a calamity, or they fear something like, I bet 2020 was the worst for them because they're like, oh my God, I knew this pandemic was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's why they have their savings accounts. That's why they have their stockpile. So you would do well, non-Cancerians that are watching this video would do very well to learn from them, because they're probably the ones that didn't have to go to the store and look at the empty rows of toilet paper. You know what I'm saying? They probably had enough toilet paper and enough booze and enough food and enough whatever when the pandemic hit. And then there's others of us who are more impulsive signs that were like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So you do well to learn from a Cancer. They're also very tenacious. They're shrewd. They are. And there's a touch of like the moon madness in every Cancer. There just is. And it's not bad. Believe you me, it's not. So let's go to their mentality, personality, and attitude. I know I gave some personality traits, but we're gonna get more in depth, okay? So, Cancerians have like a contagious laugh, okay? If a Cancer is laughing, you're gonna be laughing too. Trust and believe that. And nobody loves a good joke like a Cancerian, okay? They love it. They have like a nutty kind of sense of humor. They really do. These people, okay, back to the spotlight thing. They don't like pant after the spotlight like a Leo does, or like a clownish little Sagittarian does. Sagittarians are a little bit clownish. They're so cute. But, sorry, one of my boys is a Sag. But, so they don't like want this, but they don't shy away from it. Like, you know, if their name is in the paper, they're like, you know, that's right. And they enjoy it. They wouldn't pursue it. Anything. They don't pursue anything with like this passion, I have to have it. Especially fame. But if it comes their way, they don't shrink away from it. And, okay, so let's talk about moods. When they're feeling melancholy, they can easily pass those feelings on to others. It's like you can't be around a happy Cancer and not be happy, and you can't be around a sad Cancer and not be sad as well. Like, it's really interesting how, like, people, even non-intuitive, non-empaths, can, like, get those emotions as well. And you know how a crab, like, hide in its shell? A Cancer does that too. When they hide from things, that make them feel uncomfortable or overly emotional or that they're fearful of. And I'm not saying that Cancerians are necessarily always fearful people, but everybody has their own fears, right? And that does make them go into their shell. And their fears are like their Achilles heel. So that's very interesting to know. Don't use that against them, okay? Please, please. Have a little humanity towards these people, because that is like their Achilles heel is their fears. So what if you learn what a Cancer fears the most? Don't use that against them, because you'll fucking really hurt a Cancer. Excuse my language. They do love to observe human behavior. They do. I'm like, what are these people doing? You know, and they have a bit of an imagination. So they might even be imagining what these people are doing. Where are they going? Where are they driving? What are they up to? You know, that type of deal. Oh, back to their sensitive feelings. Literally, like a harsh glance, like glaring at them or having a rough tone of voice with them, that can also hurt them, because they're sensitive people. You could find the buffest, tallest, strongest Goliath of a man, okay? David and Goliath type of deal. And if he was a Cancer, he's still going to be sensitive. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a matter of like, they're very strong people, but they're also very sensitive. Do you know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's see. Yes, like I said, when hurt, Cancers tend to disappear into reproachful silence, almost like going back into their shell. So don't hurt them, because you won't hear from them. You could rap on their door, call them up, text them, DM them, try to FaceTime, whatever. And when they're in their shell, you will not be able to pull them out. You won't be able to. They can retaliate with like a Scorpio like vendetta, vengefulness, revenge, but they're not like Scorpios doing it out in the open. They do it kind of secretly. However, most of the time though, they turn away from getting revenge. They don't, okay? They're more of the, I'm content, I'll just hide in my shell and not do anything for revenge. But if you push them to that point where they feel they need to, I mean, watch the hell out, okay? So let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit in my notes. Okay, so if a Cancer is in the midst of uncertainty, despair, or sadness, they do seek retreat in solitude. So if something bad happens in a Cancer's life that you love or are in love with, and they just need that time alone, don't take it personally, okay? Especially you fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Don't take it personally. They just need that solitude. They just need to seek retreat, just like a real crab, okay? Speaking of crabs, that is another emotion that Cancers can go through. Crabbiness. They can be crabby, let me tell you. So, okay, for instance, a Cancer or crab will normally treat you with gentle consideration. That's how Cancerians are. But if you irritate them, or if they're already irritated or whatever, they can just snap at you like that. You know what I'm saying? They have a very good control of imagery, And their moods are so intense that, yeah, they can make you feel them too. And that's what I was saying, like, even if you're not like an empath, you can end up feeling like their feelings. So every experience they have ever been through, good and bad, every trip they've gone on, every person they've loved, every, vacation, every small experience, from learning to swim for the first time in their parents' pool, whatever, it is engraved on their heart, okay? Literally, just like stuff is engraved in stone and we go to the ruins. You know what I mean? Like, it really, really is. Let me see. Yeah, that's right. They never forget any of the lessons they learned from their parents or from past friendships or past lovers or from school. They don't forget those lessons. And they also don't forget the lessons that like history has taught mankind too. They're really, speaking of history, they're really, really into it. They revere the past. They feel like the past was almost better than it is now. Okay. They might like old-fashioned music. They might have a love for history, old movies, those black and white flicks that they used to have. Maybe they like to learn old-timey dances or whatever. They just really revere the past. They tend to collect antiques, old treasures, ancient relics, things like that. And they are patriotic to the core. To the core. A British Cancerian will sing God Save the Queen, okay? Top of their lungs. An American Cancerian will be like, don't burn that flag. It's your right to burn the flag. They might say that. They might be like, it is your right to burn this flag, but please don't. Okay? Because they're patriotic. Okay? Let's see. Yeah, historical figures intrigue them. Their own ancestors intrigue them and their family tree. Oh, let me tell you. Cancerians know like random facts, like fascinating things, and you're just like, whoa, how'd you even learn that? It's because they love learning and they love learning history. And okay, I already said that they'll keep your secret to the grave. Okay. Cancerians are possessive and protective of their friends, their family, their tangible goods, their loved ones. Once it or you are theirs, they kind of like a real crab will grab onto it like a real crab would with their claws, and they don't let go. So they never relinquish a treasured object or a good friend or a family member. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. They don't want to relinquish that. A job title. And here's a good thing for all you people out there, ladies and gents who want to be with a Cancer. Do not throw away their like old raggedy pair of slippers or their old t-shirt from high school or something like that. Their old sneakers that they got when they graduated, whatever, because they still have that. They will not throw them away. They want those things. Those are their treasures. Those are their comfy, reliable whatevers. And you can't convince them to get rid of them and buy new ones because they'll be like, Here's the thing that you have to understand about Cancerians. If it's old, it has value. If it's new, it's suspect. It hasn't proven itself. You know what I'm saying? Now, they are not like Aries in their approach to going after what they want. Aries go full force, head first, boom, like a ram, okay? Cancerians do not. Think of like a crab on the beach, right? how it might go sideways, go backwards a little bit, go over this way, move around, right? Before it's like going after, I don't know, your toes, hopefully not, right? And that's how a human crab is when they go after something they want. They don't go directly for it. They're not direct like an Aries. Even if they have Aries in their chart, they might be a little bit more direct. But they still have those crab tendencies. Go sideways, backwards. And when somebody else is about to get their treasured prize, or their treasured prize is about to go away, and their treasured prize could be you, that's when they go and go in and they grab those toes with their claws. You know what I'm saying? Or you. Whatever. You know. They don't want to lose it. But they don't ever take like the direct approach like an Aries would. Cancerians are very empathetic, I guess you would say, because if somebody is in need, they truly do care and they want to help and they want to be generous. But they do this with caution, and they'll sit back and they'll wait a little bit and see if you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or if somebody else will come in to help, and if not, they'll come in to help, because they don't squander their time, they don't squander their money. They're big on self-preservation. That does not in any way, shape, or form mean that they are selfish or unkind. They are very kind people, and they are very selfless people. They're not selfish at all, but they are for self-preservation, just like a crab is, okay? So you might think, well, they have this hard shell around them, but they're very soft, you know. They're softies. They can't help it. If they make mistakes, they brood over them. And all of us humans tend to make mistakes once in a while, okay? But a Cancer will brood over them instead of just shrugging it off to bad luck and trying again, like maybe a fire and air sign would. It might take them a little bit of time to try to do something again, you know. They're not if they make a mistake, they brood about it, they think about it and stuff like that. Okay. They love their homes. It doesn't matter if they're male or female. They love it. It borders on reverence to their home, okay? Sorry, I need water. Their homes are where they play, live, love, make love, dream. They feel safe there. So they might travel over half of the earth in connection with their jobs, or just because they do like traveling, especially to water, especially to beaches and water, or islands, stuff like that. So they might travel a lot for work or for play, but they are not happy if they don't have a hearth to call their own. Just like a Gemini will probably always rent. There are Gemini homeowners, trust to believe that. But it's almost like they have like an earth or a water sign in their chart somewhere, where in the big three, you know, moon, well, not sun obviously, but moon or rising. But Cancers, they want to own their own home. They have to have a place to call their own. And like literally when they go on a journey, whether for traveling to visit friends and family, going on a honeymoon, or traveling for work or whatever, when they come home, it's like ecstasy to them. They're like, oh, yes, I'm home. You know, it's their place. And so here's the thing about Cancers. They love to have, like I said before, the savings account, the stockpile, the whatever, right? They never quite feel like they have enough money in reserve. They never quite feel like they have enough stuff stockpiled up. Like they always have this little bit of insecurity in them, okay? They might not show it to you because of their hard outer shell, but they have that little bit of insecurity, and no matter how much love they get from a person, they always feel like they could have more. Does this person, you know what I'm saying? So like I wrote down, you may find many a prepper, hoarder, or survivalist under this sign. They are always piling up tangibles against some imaginary future disaster. And you might ask yourself, what are you saving it for? Don't ask them ridiculous questions, okay? There could be a famine someday. There could be another outbreak of the Rona, okay? They're going to be the ones that are prepared. And that's why I said we could all take a lesson from them, okay? Oh, speaking of vacations and travels, you will always find the Cancerian on the water. Now listen, the two Cancers that I dedicated this to live in the desert. I'm not going to say where, but they love the water, okay? Don't ask me. We all, you know, the desert is a great place, but they love the water. So if a Cancer is not out boating, they're water skiing, or they're swimming, or they're kayaking, or they're canoeing, or at the very least, like wading in the water. Maybe they want a pool in their home. You know what? I think, if I recall, my Cancerian friends put in a hot tub. Throw in some butter and you have 2 boiling crabs. No. But they have to have the water near them, you know? And I think they redid their bathroom to make it really, like, cool. I feel like, yeah, I think they did. So the married couple that I dedicated this to, so there's another water thing. There you go. So what did I write down? Yeah, you'll find them spending their leisure time or their like vacation time at the beach, oftentimes, or at the lake. Over half of the crabs you meet will be like weekend sailors. I'm a weekend sailor. Or, you know, get a job doing something on the water. Maybe they own their own boats, or they work on a fishing boat. Or my friend, the male of that couple that I dedicated this video to, he's a captain of a ship. So there you go. And, you know, that's just, they like it. Maybe it's the moon and the tides and everything like that. You know, it just calls them. It calls them. They love the water. They also tend to have green thumbs. They're very, very good at gardening or growing plants, and they tend to them with loving care like they do everybody else in their life. And they also have a very green savings account, and they cultivate that with the same devotion. Trust and believe that. They're very frugal spenders, to say the least. They will try to find the best deal. If you go shopping with a Cancer and you're like, I need a dress for a wedding that I'm going to, right? Your friend that's a Cancer that you go to and talk to them about this, they will be like, let me tell you where dresses are on sale. Let me show you how to coupon and use this coupon at Macy's. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're frugal spenders. They do spend, but they try to find the best deals, and they always seem to. And you're just like, how did you even find that for so cheap? And they love to show off when they get a good deal. They're like, I got this $50 doodad for $15. And you're like, how? I wanted the same doodad and I paid $50. And they're like, you know, they just know how to do it. So, even if they have like impulsive, maybe Leo or, you know, Aquarius in their chart, or some more of an impulsive sign in their charts, they'll still keep money aside for a rainy day. Trust and believe that. Like, okay, if a Cancer tells you they're broke, they're not. Okay, I'm gonna believe it for a minute. They still have, they're probably down to what, their last couple of thousand, which to them is they're freaking out. To a Leo, would be like, I have a couple $1,000. Yes, let's go to the store. And they're like, oh my God. Cancers would be like, I gotta earn more. You know what I'm saying? So if they tell you they're broke, they ain't broke. I promise you that. And they're probably the most capable of all the Zodiac to manage funds. Now, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, they would be in maybe tied for a second. But Cancers are the most capable of managing their funds. And you know what? I know a Virgo who has like a Cancer rising. Very, very shrewd with money. I mean, those two signs together, it's like, whoa. Okay, so yeah, they're experts at accumulating cash and making it grow interest and or investments and stuff like that. There's the doggies. Their generosity, they're very extremely generous, but it's only exceeded by their caution. But they will willingly share with you, with somebody they like or they love who's in need. They will share it with you if you have a real need. And like, children never fail to like touch their heart, you know. But you know, they'll give money to like a poor child, or you know, want to help them or fight for them to have, you know, free lunch and stuff like that. But if you're a shop clerk and you try to overcharge them by 2 cents, you better watch yourself. Okay? So, another thing that represents security to Cancerians is food. Okay? Doesn't matter if they're eating it or not. Doesn't matter if it's just in their pantry. That shows security to them. If you come to their house, expect to eat. Go to their house hungry, because they will be like, let me feed you. It's kind of a way to show security and show their caring heart. You know what I'm saying? If you have a friend that throws a lot of dinner parties, and with like maybe old-fashioned type of invitations that you send in the mail, that type of thing, Cancerian. Every time. Where they have Cancer predominantly in their chart. Like moon or rising. They, like, a thing that really hurts them is that there's hunger in this world, that there's starving people. They might even volunteer at a food pantry to dole out food, that type of thing, like feeding the hungry type of deal, because it breaks their heart, you know. And wasting food, like wasting it it's like criminal. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you come to their house for a dinner party, for example, you can have seconds, you can have thirds. They want you to eat until you are stuffed, right? But do not get a second helping and then chuck it in the trash. Woo. Better clean your plate. And if you have a Cancer parent, they were probably the type of parent that said, no, you're going to sit at this dinner table until you clean your plate off. Because it's security to them. It's like, and it's nurturing to them. Okay? They have like this strong maternal instinct, whether they're male or female, doesn't matter, or anything in between. They do have this strong maternal instinct. Even if they never have children, they do. They just are nurturers. They're nurturers. Speaking of mothers that made their children sit at the dinner table until their plate was finished, do not ever, and I mean never, I don't care if she's the Wicked Witch of the West, okay? Do not ever speak poorly of a Cancerian's mother. Don't. Just don't do it, okay? They can complain all they want. Oh my gosh, she's still trying to control my life, blah, 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 blah. Don't interject. Do not say a word. Don't ever, never, never, never. Can you imagine, like, I mean, everybody loves Princess Diana. Everybody loves her. I mean, who doesn't, right? But can you imagine if somebody said something to Prince William about his mother? Whew. I bet the royal family even knew they better mind their P's and Q's about her after her passing, her unfortunate passing. Okay, so now we're on to Cancer health. Then I'll do how to recognize cancer by looks, and then I'm going to talk about presidents and dictators. And then, so here we go. Cancer health. They have a tendency towards depression. They hardly ever get fevers, but they can catch the chills. Like, it's weird. They won't get fever and chills. They'll just well, they can get fevers. I'm not saying they don't, but it's, you know, they'll catch the chills more often than fevers. Pessimism and apprehension make them ill. Okay. Cheerfulness makes them well. If their security is threatened either at the bank or in their heart or in their home, they can fall into a depression, and that unconsciously courts like sickness and illness or an accident. So they have to mind that and mind their stress levels. In terms of their body, the most vulnerable areas for a Cancer are the chest or breast region, the knees, kidneys, bladder, and skin. The head, face, stomach, and digestive systems as well. And they say that Cancerians practically invented ulcers. So, like I said, those Cancerians who keep serene, who call on their marvelous sense of humor, who can reduce their stress levels, they stay healthy to a ripe old age. They really do. You know how they can grab onto things with their claws like actual crabs? If they can grab onto positivity and serenity and just peacefulness, they can cling to it. It clings to them, and they can end up, you know, being very, very healthy, like have like rugged good health, you know. Cheerfulness, optimism, laughter. You know, they need that to keep their minds and bodies healthy. They really do. Because here's the thing, they're very intuitive, and they're very like, they can easily manifest stuff. They can easily manifest money and whatever. So they can imagine themselves sick. They can just picture themselves being sick or picture an accident or something like that, and then it happens. So they can also miraculously like get over their illnesses, even illnesses that you would think they wouldn't be able to. So it's like a contradiction, but it would benefit a Cancerian to ponder that, like how their attitude and their you know, approach to life, and whether they're pessimistic or optimistic, and whether they cling to that joyful happiness and their sense of humor, can really improve their body. Okay. So how to recognize a Cancer by looks. Oh, there are two different types of Cancers. Think about the man on the moon and the crab. Okay. So the first kind, the man on the moon, they have a very pretty or handsome, like round face. Okay. They have soft skin, a wide grinning mouth. They have almost circular eyes, and like kind of a baby-faced look. Okay. The second kind is more common, the ones that look like crabs, and they have like the unmistakable look of a crab. If you picture a crab, or Mr. Crab from like SpongeBob or something like that. So they have a fairly large skull, an overhanging brow, high cheekbones. The brows themselves will tend to knit together in sort of a permanent frown almost. They might get the frown lines too. Sometimes they get those frown lines. It's not like an offensive look, but it's like an interesting look. I don't know how to explain it. They have a pronounced lower jaw, and the second kind of Cancerians have a pronounced lower jaw, and their teeth are either prominent or irregular in some way, and their eyes are usually small and far apart. Okay. Now both kind of Cancers. So, sometimes you'll see a Cancer that combines both, the man on the moon and the crab look. but somehow they're both distinctive within them. It's really interesting. And under the people born under the sign of the crab, the Cancers, moon people, they sometimes they're plump, you would say, but a lot of them, the great majority of them, are actually thin and bony, which is interesting. Their arms and their legs may be extra long in proportion to the rest of their body, kind of like a crab. Their shoulders will be broader than average. Their hands and feet are either unusually tiny or quite large, just like the different types of crabs, just, you know. Most Cancerians are a little top heavy, like maybe the women have big boobs or the men just have broad chests, and they waddle slightly when they walk fast. And whether their body is plump or skinny, the women usually have one of two things. Like I said, they have a very ample chest, they're very bosomous, okay? Or a flat chest, okay? Doesn't matter. Even if a more plump one can have a flat chest, or a very skinny one can have a big chest. They have one of the two. There's no like middle ground. They're very buxom, however you say it, or very like nothing, right? Okay, there's like, it's like a marked, you know, quality of theirs, and it's one or the other. They don't just have like a regular old plain old size B or C, right? Most of the time, somebody's going to be in the comments, I wear a size B and I'm a Cancer. But this is the usual. They usually have very big or very tiny chests. They have very expressive features. And when you're talking to them and they're telling one story, just one little story, their expression, their emotional expressiveness can vary so much from, like, you know, all the different, because they tell the story with the emotions and it shows on their face. And colors that they look good in are luminous pale gold, as well as shimmering colors of the moonlight, like silver or gray. And they also look good in pale green, mauve, and lavender. Now, let's get on to the political leaders and dictators that I looked up. I looked up a whole bunch for all the different signs. And then we'll be towards the end of the video. Okay. There have been 4 American presidents born under the sign of Cancer. Calvin Coolidge, John Q. Adams, John Quincy Adams, so not the other John Adams, but John Quincy Adams, Gerald Ford, and George W. Bush, so Bush Jr. Funnily enough, I could only find one dictator, just one, totally opposite of Taurus, who has the most, but just one dictator born under Cancer, and it was like so long ago, it's not even funny. Caius Julius Caesar of Rome, who was born the 12th of July, 100 BCE, and he died the 15th of March, 44 BCE. Y'all don't want to be dictators because you're too loving and emotional. So, there you go. That is my video all about Cancer. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please click the subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications of when I have new videos coming up. Share this with other Cancerians or anybody who knows or loves a Cancerian or has one in their family. And please give me a like and comment down below because it really helps my channel. It helps get these videos out to other people. It helps the algorithm on YouTube. So thank you so much. And I really hope you enjoyed this. And I'll see you next time. Bye, Cancer.